So we are going to start the color wheel project with the software part of it. First, you can see here I have open my environment in which I'm going to program the Arduino. This is our Arduino Ide. And when you open up this IDE, this is the first thing you'll see. It's just sort of a generic sketch. Has our setup function or routine and our loop routine. We talked about that in a previous video, that setup is where we put stuff that runs once when we turn the power on to the Arduino, and then we put all the things that we want to continuously run in loop. So when you first open the environment, make sure that you have the correct port selected right here. Port, and since I'm using a Mac, mine looks a little different than yours might. Usually it says COM and then a number, so COM3, COM4. Select the correct port, the USB port that your Arduino is plugged into, and make sure that it's showing that you're using a Arduino Uno. So once you've done that, then you're ready to be able to upload programs to your Arduino. Let's start with a simple one. And so in our Arduino environment, we can find the example files, a bunch of them in here in this examples. We're going to start with basics, and we're going to open Blink, because in our project we need to be able to turn lights on and off. So Blink is going to give us a start at that. So here we're going to scroll down and we can see that this has the same functions. Here's a setup function and a loop function. And the void right here before setup just means that it's not expecting to give any output. And the fact that there's nothing in between these parentheses means that it doesn't expect any input. So setup is a function that just runs without an input or an output. In setup, we have to tell the Arduino what our pins are going to do. So this statement right here, pin mode, is setting the pin that the internal LED is connected to an output. So I say pin mode, and I'm going to name the pin that I'm talking about, and I'm going to call it either an input or an output. Here we want to set this digital pin as an output. And then we can go to the loop and start the code for the blinking. So digital write sets the state, the voltage state high, so it supplies a voltage to the light, and that's going to give us a voltage potential so that we can run current through a light. We'll delay for a second, so this is turning the light on, setting this voltage high. Delay for a second and then turn the light off. And you can see here on the Arduino, I have my Arduino hooked up, and I'm going to go ahead and upload this sketch to the Arduino, and you'll be able to see the little LED start blinking. So you can see right here is the little built-in LED, and it's now blinking on for a second, off for a second. So this 1000 is a number in milliseconds for the delay. So 1000 milliseconds is a second. Now I can go ahead and change this and get it to blink faster. So let's change the time to say 500 for the delay when it's off, and we'll do the same for the delay when it's on. Well, let's make it longer. So it should stay on longer and spend less time off. So let's upload that and see how we can change that. Now it's on for longer and off. So I can change how long I want to have the light blink on and how long I have the light off. So we're going to now hook up our LED circuit so that we can get our LED light blinking. First we need to take a look at the LED. And it has 4 pins. You can kind of see these 4 pins. Maybe if I put my hand in the back there, you can see them. and they look kind of like fingers, and each one of them has a specific connection. You can notice what or know what connection they are by using your hand kind of as an analog. This longest pin, so your kind of middle finger pin, is a common pin. The one right next to it is red, so this one is red. And then these two on the other side of the common pin are green and blue. So on our LED we have longest one is common, the one next to that by itself is red, then on the other side is green and blue. So we're going to put this into our breadboard and hook it up to our LED or our Arduino. I'm going to spread the wires apart a little bit just so that I can hook it up and place it in. I'll do it this way. I'm gonna let it straddle this middle section of the breadboard. So there's our LED, and we need to make sure that the LED is hooked to a resistor so that we don't burn it and fry it. So we're going to do that by putting in this little 270 ohm resistor that I have. I'll hook that up to my LED common pin. And then from the common pin, I'm going to go ahead and connect my common pin to the Arduino. And I'm going to connect it to pin 0. So now common is connected to pin 0. Now I'm just going to go ahead and connect the color pins or the color leads of the LED to the Arduino pins so that I can then drive each of the colors separately. So this one is red that I'm going to hook up, and I'm going to put red in number 8. Doesn't really matter which number you put these in, just so that you know what number it is when you're programming. And then green will be in number 11. Oh, sorry, that's number 10. And then finally blue we'll put in 12. So there's the LED circuit hooked up, and we're ready to start programming the Arduino. So now I've taken my Blink program and modified it to fit my circuit that I have, so I can run a red, green, blue LED. First, I've done a few things. Let's take a look at what we've already done. I've defined a constant. Basically, this is just giving a number a name. So I'm going to name 8 red, which means that anytime I refer to red, Arduino is going to know I'm talking about pin 8. So this corresponds to the number 8 pin where I have my red lead connected. And then same thing with green and blue. So I have green connected to 10 and blue connected to 12. So this is just for my benefit, so that it makes my program readable, so that I know whenever I'm referring to red, that tells the Arduino that I'm talking about pin number 8. It also makes it nice and easy, because if I make a mistake, and accidentally connect green to 8, I can change it up here pretty easily. I also have a constant defined for the pin in which I have my LED common pin connected, I'm just calling that LED, and it's connected here to pin 0, just like you see on the video. Next, I need to do some initialization so that Arduino knows how to communicate to and from each of these pins. So just like we did with the internal LED, I'm going to set the pin mode for each of my color pins as an output, and this will allow current to flow through these pins, and then I can set them as either high or low states to turn it on for high so that I have a high voltage, and off to turn it low to have a 0 voltage so that it turns off. So I'm doing just setting the pin mode for red, green, and blue as outputs. And because I've already defined what red, green, and blue is up here, Arduino knows how to interpret this. Next, I'm going to set the state for the LED pin as low, so that when I turn red high and I have LED set low, that means there's a voltage of 5 volts driving current through the LED. So 5 volts on the red lead goes through the LED. So 5 volts goes through the LED and then through this resistor and back into the pin, which is at 0 volts, and that means I've completed a circuit, and so I can have current flowing. The way that I'm going to be careful so that I don't accidentally run current backwards through this LED. LEDs like to only have them run one direction, have current run one direction. So I'm going to make sure I don't run current backwards by setting the LED pin mode as an input. That means that it won't allow current to flow in or out of the 0 pin, the LED pin. So now I want to be able to, this is all done in my setup routine, so this all happens the first time the board is powered up or the first time the reset button is pushed. Now I want to give it some code for what I want to have happen over and over again, and this is just like the Blink routine that we just did, or the example that we just looked at, with the exception that now I have to be able to let my LED have current flow, my LED pin have current flow through it. So to start this, I'll set that as an output, and that makes that LED pin ready to go and ready to let current flow through. So now that that's set as an output, I can start turning my red color on high. I'll wait for a second and then I'll turn red low. So red on high turns the light off, red on low turns the light, red on high turns the light on, red on low turns the light off. So let's go ahead and upload this, and we can watch the light blink. There, blinks red on and off. So if I want to, I can now change this to blue. I'll just quickly change my program to blue, and I can upload it and let it blink blue. Now if I want to have it blink red, green, blue, I can do that also. I'll just add some more code. So we'll change this back to red, and then I'm just going to copy and paste this code and make this green, and finally blue. So it should say turn red on, turn red off, turn green on, turn green off, turn blue on, and turn blue off, and it should go red, green, blue forever. So here we go. You can take a look. Red, green, blue. So that's working. So the last thing that we want to do is to be able to turn the light on white. So I've added some code right here to turn red, green, blue on and off really quickly over and over again. I'm using a for loop. And let me show you what a for loop does. Basically, I'm going to tell it that I want to repeat everything that's in between this curly brace and this curly brace, and as many times as I tell it to count. So I'm going to repeat it while I is 0 to just less than 20,000, and each time I go through the loop, I'm going to add 1 to I. So it's just going to count the number of times I go through this loop. So it does it very quickly, on and off, red, green, blue really quickly, and when it does it that quickly, our eye only sees the combination of them, so it looks like white. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this sketch, and you can see what it does to the light. So we have our red, green, and blue blinking, and then a white blink. And then I can change the length of the white blink by changing this number, how many times the loop counts. So I could do 30,000 and it would stay on longer. Try that. Red, green, and blue, and finally white.